Trump has tried to act as a mediator between Ukraine and Russia. But is he the right person for the job? International law does not set strict rules on who can be a mediator. Countries are free to choose anyone they trust, whether it's another state, an individual, or an international organization. Still, there are some general guidelines to follow. The 1907 Hague Convention on the Peaceful Settlement of Disputes, signed by countries including the US and Russia, acknowledges mediation as a tool for resolving conflicts, but does not set out any qualifications for who can serve as a mediator. When mediation became a more popular way to resolve disputes in the early 2000s, the UN decided to professionalize the practice and adopt the 2012 Guidance on Effective Mediation. So, does Trump meet the UN's guidelines for an effective mediator? Let's examine 5 of the most relevant criteria. First, consent. For mediation to work, both Ukraine and Russia must agree to Trump as a mediator, and they have. Second, impartiality. The mediator must be perceived as fair and unbiased. They should also not have a material interest in the outcome. This is clearly not the case here. The United States has a direct interest in the conflict, having supplied Ukraine with military aid, imposed sanctions on Russia, and has clearly positioned itself as a leading supporter of Ukraine. This makes it difficult for Trump to be viewed as an impartial mediator. Third, inclusivity. The process should involve all key stakeholders. This has not been the case here, but Trump recently suggested that Ukraine and Russia should resolve the conflict directly, so that might change. Fourth, national ownership. Effective solutions need to be shaped and accepted by Ukraine and Russia themselves. This would be difficult without Ukraine's active participation. How could the question of borders be decided in its absence, for example? Fifth, respect for international law. Any agreement reached through mediation must comply with international law. For that to happen, the mediator should care about international law. Just looking at these 5 criteria, it doesn't seem like Trump is the right person for the job. Who would qualify? Someone both Ukraine and Russia trust, who is impartial, who ensures Ukraine is fully included, and who respects international law. It is important to note that the UN guidelines are not legally binding, and mediation is entirely voluntary. This means that failing to follow these guidelines does not make the recent Ukraine-Russia peace talks illegal, but it does raise questions about their political legitimacy. Still, the UN guidelines are widely recognized as a standard for mediation, and following them could help achieve a more durable and constructive outcome in the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict. Follow for more simple approaches to international law.